Okay, today we're going to be playing MKXL for extra large. Got Marvel 2R here, got Bryant, and of course Rico Ross. We're doing some, just some 1v1 matches, and hopefully get some fatalities and infinite combos and whatnot.
What's some of your earliest memories of Mortal Kombat?
Earliest memories. I actually, I started on Mortal Kombat 3. I got it for Christmas one year, and I wasn't allowed to play it, like, ever. They got it, and I guess they didn't realize how intense the game was, and we played it a little bit, and it was instantly like, you probably shouldn't be playing that. So it became one of those games that we would sneak and play, but eventually it became normal for us to play Mortal Kombat.
See, my earliest memories are sitting in the arcade looking at a bunch of shoulders. Couldn't see over them. Yes, me as a little kid, like looking at the arcade cabinet, trying to get like my time into the game. Couldn't because of the long line for Mortal Kombat when it came out. And then I think the first home experience I had with Mortal Kombat was on the Sega Game Gear.
What is a Game Gear?
You never?
No, I know what a Game Gear is.
Oh, okay.
I just haven't heard that name in a while.
Like your son's birthday?
Well, yeah, but that's different.
So the arcade one, are you talking about the first Mortal Kombat or second?
I believe the first one. Yeah, back when it first came out and everyone was all about the violence that it was promoting.
Yeah, the first one was definitely more a home thing for me, but I remember the second one being on an arcade and my brother would play it, and he's older, so I'm like this little 3-year-old watching him play, and he's not much older, so he was like 5, and he's beating grown men, and the grown men are getting very upset that this little kid's beating them.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he could do all of it. Any fatality, people were just lining up to lose. So what it was is, it was in a club that my dad would DJ, and they were just, like, getting tired of getting beat up, so they would complain, like, why is this kid in the club? And we were there while he was setting up. But we pretty much knew the owner, and the owner was like, you're gonna have to suck it up, baby.
Yeah, get over it. If you can't beat that kid in the arcade cabinet, maybe you should step your game up.
Yeah, so this little kid who can barely see the controls, like literally reaching up to play, not even looking down at the screen. That's how little we were. But that was probably some of the earliest memories I have of it.
My first time with one was an at-home thing. I was playing on Super Nintendo, but we'd finally gotten used to having 3 around, and it became normal for us to play Mortal Kombat all day long. And I was like at the mall, and my brother found an EV Games or something like that, and convinced my dad to buy Mortal Kombat 1. Because it was like, well, we've got 3, let's see what the first one was. And I actually liked playing 1 more than I did 3 when I was younger, because you didn't have 3 was so like combo based. You had to actually be good to play 3. You couldn't just, punch. Yeah, you won the first one.
And see, that's the thing, when it came out, the Mortal Kombat 1 on Sega and Super Nintendo, they were up in arms about the gore of the time. So Super Nintendo, they decided to go with a gray to make it look like it could be sweat.
Yeah, I always thought it was like sweat or like gravy. Like it was like really, it was like I mean, I was like 5 when it came out. You know what I mean? I was like, these guys.
And to my knowledge, I don't think you can change the color in it.
No,
Super Nintendo.
No, there's like no settings on Super Nintendo.
Yeah. With Sega, they took it out completely, but they gave you a code to put the blood back in.
Which we have the code right here.
Which I think is a good compromise versus just changing it to gray.
Hold that up for everyone to see the code for...
So this is the code if you want blood.
That was the original code for your parents not to know that you were playing the most violent game out at the time. But I remember when the first couple of times I had seen a fatality, like I had heard that they were a thing, but nobody knew how to do them. The internet wasn't really like that big, if at all. And so like I didn't know anybody that knew fatalities. Everyone always just did like the basic insult uppercut. That was like the haha I gotcha. But I went to this pizza place when I was a kid that was like right across the street from where I lived, and they had a cabinet for Ultimate 3. And there was this guy there, and he was just running through the tower. I don't know what difficulty he was playing on, but he was just like flawless victory after flawless victory on the cabinet against the computer with, and he was doing it with Sub-Zero. And I remember I asked him for the combination because I had never seen it. So the first fatality I'd actually seen was Sub-Zero when he grabs you, puts you over his head, freezes you, and like breaks you in half. And I was like, holy crap, like I guess it is true. You know what I mean? It was like an urban legend up until that point for me.
My earliest memory of some sort of fatality was on that cabinet in that club, and my brother was doing the animalities.
Yeah, and I forgot about those actually.
Yeah, so if you're gonna turn into a dragon and eat someone's head off, it better be a little kid doing it to a grown man.
And then you have Liu Kang's fatality in the first game. He just does a cartwheel kick.
Yeah, cartwheel kick. Hey, that was a sweet cartwheel kick.
I always remember the noise he made with it. It was so funny.
Or pit fatalities. Okay, no, so like I remember pit fatalities, but like that was like the only fatality I was aware of until I had seen that guy at that pizza place across the street.
So I think later on in the franchise,
good God, I am getting annihilated right now.
They tried to add so many more finishers, animality, deadality, any of that kind of stuff. But they tried to take away from the fact that they were swapping out characters. So you're like, oh, I'm about to use whoever, and they're not going to be in it. Like they took Jax out of some, Baraka.
I'd say after 3, when 4 came out, they took out a lot of characters, but I think it was because of everything on 64 was trying to get like 3-dimensional. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I liked 4. 4 was good. It was really fast, considering most games on N64 were pretty sluggy.
I thought 4 was garbage. I even played that in the arcade, and it wasn't even as good as the standalone console. And I don't know, 4 just wasn't good.
I liked 4 just because it was
new.
It was new at the time, and it was so everything on N64 in comparison to Super Nintendo and Sega. Like N64 and PlayStation 1, everything was exciting. Everything that came out.
Well, not a good start for me.
What are you talking about? You're Leatherface.
Oh, I'm Leatherface? Oh, okay. Okay. I thought it was Kenshi.
So if we're talking about different, it was weird when Mortal Kombat switched to like a kind of story game, more story driven. So like Mythologies
Mythologies was cool because I've always been a really big fan of side-scrolling beat-em-up games. Like,
and obviously he's this kind of player that'll sit and do the same punch.
Hey, you gotta know how to fight against it.
Spammer. But yeah, Mythologies was cool. I liked, what was the Shaolin Monks?
Yeah, the Shaolin Monks was on PS2, I believe.
It was PS2. I played it on Xbox because I had a friend who had it.
Or the Mortal Kombat Special Ops that had Jax in it.
It had Jax and Son.
And actually, I think Special Ops is where Tremor came from. He was one of the bosses, and they had him as one of the DLC characters in this one. I never played Special Ops. From what I've seen, it kind of looks like Super Smash TV done Mortal Kombat edition. But yeah, I think my favorite would definitely have to be 3. Like that's what I think of as like the pinnacle of Mortal Kombat was 3, because that's there's like 3 different versions of 3. There was just 3.
Ultimate.
There was Ultimate, and then there was Trilogy. Yeah. And Trilogy was like the ultimate. It had you had characters from 1, 2, and 3. And it kind of rebalanced a couple things.
Which is the one I have on 64.
Yeah.
Trilogy.
Trilogy was pretty good. Next would be 9. I like 9 a lot because
9 is awesome.
9 went back to 2D. For a while, it was that three-dimensional like Tekken style. I didn't like it either. I remember Alliance came out, and I played it here and there, but it didn't have that same feel because I was never really big into Tekken.
Which game had like 70 characters in it, like every Mortal Kombat character?
Armageddon.
Armageddon?
Was it Armageddon? That had literally everybody that had ever existed.
I've never played it, but I heard that was a really good installment.
I think in that one you could, there was like a character creation thing, unless I'm thinking of another one. One of the Mortal Kombat's you could create a character, and you could basically pick all the best moves from all the characters and make the super character that nobody could beat. Just infinite loot combos and stuff. But it's crazy, man. Like, thinking about those fatalities when you first saw them, like, how shocking they were. And it's almost sad now that we've become so desensitized that even how gory these ones are in MKX. The first time seeing them, I was like, oh, cool, you know, that's super brutal, but I wasn't shocked. You know what I mean?
Oh, he plays like Ivy from Soul Calibur too. Like that. Well, I guess I don't like it too much. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, taquito. I'll do it. You spam it. You've been spamming all day. All right, let's look at some combos, I guess, or some special moves.
Nah.
What about you? What would you say is like your favorite top 2, I guess?
Top 2 what?
Top 2 Mortal Kombats.
2 is really cool. I like Mortal Kombat 2. I guess, you know, I liked Armageddon. I like seeing the 3D fatalities, and that was one of my...
Armageddon, or was it Armageddon? Or is it Alliance that you think?
The one that was on N64.
4. That was 4.
For that. I used to rent it from Blockbuster all the time. And I think it was the one that introduced, like, you could switch to a different class of character, like you can switch to your weapon class instead of...
Okay. Yeah, I think that was Deadly Alliance.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
What about you?
My top 2, it's a little unconventional, but definitely Mortal Kombat 2 sticks out in my mind. Then the, what was it, Mythology Sub-Zero? That little standalone in PS1, I think it was. I think I played a lot of that, and it just sticks out.
Yeah. I mean, Shaolin Monks, I remember beating that a couple times. I liked that one as like one of the side games, but I definitely say 3 and 9 stick out the most in my head.
Well, 9 was revolutionary. Well, it wasn't revolutionary, but it brought back everything, and it made it feel like it was a revolutionary game. And I guess I got the same feeling from Mortal Kombat 9 as I got from the Mortal Kombat movie, the first one.
See, I got that nostalgic, like, 3 feeling, because it had a lot of the same cast from 3. I mean, it was like a throwback, revamped version of 1, 2, and 3. That's kind of what 9 was. Mm-hmm. Well, it wasn't even called 9, it was just Mortal Kombat. It was supposed to be like all the first 3 just kind of redone. I like this one because it's got a lot of newer characters and stuff, and, you know, people have aged in this one.
Yeah, I do like how it's continuing the storyline.
Yeah,
it's not just replaying the same storyline as it's been playing for the past.
How many times
years.
can you get away with releasing a young Liu Kang? Like, that's what which one was it after Deadly Alliance? And it could be Deadly Alliance that I'm thinking of. That had Liu Kang as he was dead.
Yeah, Liu Kang died.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it was.
So like this is before then. You know what I mean?
In the original storyline, I think in Mortal Kombat 1 doesn't Liu Kang die and then he gets resurrected as...
we both popped it.
I forget which game it was, actually.
What, that he died?
Yeah, it was one of the original Mortal Kombats, and the storyline and it explains why he's not in like one of the other games.
I can't remember actually. Okay, well we've discussed that. Top 3 like favorite characters. There we go. Got that fatality. First fatality. Characters? Anybody?
Characters, I mean, really, any of like the early on, any of the ninja type characters, Scorpion, Sub-Zero,
Any one of the palette swaps.
Yeah, the palette swap characters are nice, like Noob, like Tobias Boone.
Yeah, Noob's good.
I like
Smoke's always been a solid character too.
I like the idea of Reptile. I didn't really like using them so much, but
yeah, no, Reptile's one of those characters that I always thought was really, really cool. He's got a really cool moveset, and I never took the time to learn him because he plays strange. I'm gonna play him right now, actually.
Speaking of,
and definitely early on, was it in 2? He had I mean, it was the basic, yeah, like that.
Yeah, he had the
look, but I thought it was like the best one.
Yeah,
Rain was pretty cool.
Rain was cool. Mine, Brock stands out because he was such a strange character to see. I mean, when the first one came out, was it like 6 characters?
Yeah.
3, 4, 5, 7 characters plus, what's his name? The boss, Shang Tsung. Shang Tsung, and Reptile was actually a hidden character that had all these weird specifications to be able to face him. You couldn't play him. So there was 9 characters in total. And none of them were that crazy other than, in my opinion, I mean, Goro was like the sickest character in 1. He was just so I'd never seen anything like that before. A 4-arm half-dragon king, you know what I mean? Like, that was crazy. But seeing Barak, he was just so wicked looking. I mean, he had the spikes, the crazy teeth, the pointy ears. He was a character that I feel like, as a kid, was, even playing against other kids that didn't know what Mortal Kombat was always one of the first to be picked by somebody who'd never played. If you played 2 for the first time and never played Mortal Kombat, you probably went with Barak because he was so crazy looking, you know what I mean? And honestly, I don't think Liu Kang gets enough credit. I know he's like the typical like go-to character. He's always solid.
Yeah.
He's a well-rounded, like mid-tier character.
Definitely really easy to use.
Yeah, he's a good learner character. But even then, a lot of the times his moveset goes a little bit more in depth than just learner.
So with this game, it's a continuation of Mortal Kombat 9, right? Like they continue that storyline. I'm not too familiar with it.
It's in the future from because in the end of 9, didn't everybody die?
Well,
wasn't that? I can't remember.
At the end of 9, Quan Chi, he showed his face at the end of 9 to continue the storyline that was supposed to be Mortal Kombat 1 and Mortal Kombat 2.
Yeah. All I know is this one's distant future. Cassie Cage is in existence. I like the newer characters. The newer characters are all good. They kind of had to be good when you've got all the classics in the game, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not going to get any play if Scorpion is still the best character, you know? Alright, I'm going to try to get a fatality on it again.
That was the biggest thing in this game. Any person you played with, you're always going to pause it multiple times looking at the moves.
Yeah, that I kind of like and dislike about the newer games. Like, the originals, you had to know your moveset, you had to have your fatalities written down, and pause wasn't a thing in the originals. Like, you didn't get to pause.
It was like, back up, don't hit me yet.
Yeah.
I gotta try this move out real fast, man.
Yeah.
Like, up, down, left, right, down, right,
That's
right,
one thing,
right.
too. The button combinations for the original fatalities were like 16 button combos.
Yeah.
It was like these really long. Now they've got quick button fatalities, and I think they're tops 4 button combinations for fatalities now. which is cool. I remember the codes for 1-bit and fatalities in 3. That was always like a go-to to make it easier. But yeah, I think this is probably going to be the last match, and we'll sign off. It's been real. It's been good. But has it been real good?
Underrated movie.
Yeah.
I'm having a good time.
Dude, we both picked like giants. Just giant slow characters. I'm gonna look at my move list because I want this last match.
For this last match, I don't think we've really talked about it too much, but how do we feel about the movies, the little mini-series that came out, Legacy?
Oh man, we didn't even talk about that at all.
Yeah,
Legacy, I'm not gonna lie to you, I was supposed to do my homework last night, and instead I played Mortal Kombat X.
Good.
Instead of watching Legacy. But you know, I've seen like 2 episodes of it, and I thought it was really good, and I definitely want to actually watch the full series.
A lot of people like give the second movie, like from the '90s,
Annihilation.
Yeah, they give Annihilation a lot of crap, but I enjoyed that one. I think that was my first Mortal Kombat movie, I think. And as a video game movie, I think I portrayed the video game quite well, like Shao Kahn and everything. But the first movie's a classic, of course.
Yeah.
Dude, I've got a cool story about the first one, and it could be completely wrong, but I remember it played out like this as a kid. I could have sworn that I saw the first one at a drive-in theater, and it was a double feature of Mortal Kombat 1 and the first Power Ranger movie with Ivan Ooze.
Oh.
So I remember that night being pretty cool, and it could be that I saw them separate nights, but I remember it as like one night of like crazy awesome movies as a kid.
That's all that matters. That one. Good
Yeah, I remember it like that. I could be wrong, but prove me wrong. Dang, I lost. Hey, at least we got a fatality. One more fatality.
The fatalities are so easy to do, though. I didn't even have to look it up. Just it's easy as hitting square.
There we go. Alright, well, that is it.
Yes.
We do plan to do more games and more discussions. This was the first run. I think it went pretty well.
All that endless blood.
Yeah.
I mean, I had fun, and that's all that matters. I had fun doing it, and I plan on doing it more. So, comment, subscribe,
Tell us what you
like. Go check out Marvel 2R.
Marvel 2R.
Marvel 2R's channel. He's got a lot more content than I do, and he's a professional. Brian
Thank you.
doesn't have a channel yet, but he's probably going to
Eventually.
be a regular special guest that we're just going to call him special guest from now on. He's probably going to be in every episode. And that's it. We're out of here.
Later.